Okay, so in this example we're being asked to find the inverse of the exponential. Now it's just important to understand that the inverse of an exponential is simply going to be a logarithm, okay? And vice versa. The inverse of a logarithm is going to be an exponential. So I have the formulas we're going to use from going from exponential to logarithm, right? And this can be used going from logarithm to exponential as well. So the first step that you want to do when doing these problems is you want to isolate the exponential. So for example, here's my first problem. I want to isolate the exponential, which is right here. Okay, this 5 to the x power. So what I have to do is I have to minus 2 on both sides. So now I get y minus 2 equal to 5 to the x. Now I have the exponential isolated. Okay, so step 1 is done. Your next step is to replace the variables. So where I see a y, I'm going to replace it with an x, and where I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a y. So rewriting this, we have x minus 2 equal to 5 to the y. So now at this point you want to go from exponential to log form, right? So right here, I'm going to put this in parentheses, this whole part right here is acting like our x. This part right here is acting like our y. Now we're going to make the change. So I'm in this format right now, right? Here's my x, this whole part right here, x minus 2. And here's my y, and here's my b, right? My base is 5. So I'm going to put it in this form here. So I'm going to take my y and bring it over like this. So y equals, and then I'm going to write log. My base is 5, so put 5. And then we're bringing this whole thing over. That's my x, so x minus 2. And there it is. You are now complete. So this is going to be the inverse of our exponential. All right, let's try another example. Okay, so here is our next example. And again, we're going to follow our same steps. We want to go ahead and isolate the exponential first so that we can find the inverse. So what we need to do is I have this minus 2. I'm going to have to add this over to the left side. So I get y plus 2 equal to 3, and then I get x plus 2. So now my exponential is isolated. So now we make the switch. We replace our y with x and our x with y. So let's go ahead and do that. So I get x plus 2 equal to 3, and then I get y plus 2. Okay, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and put these in parentheses, right? These two terms on both sides. Now we can see that this whole part right here is my x. This whole part right here is my y. So I'm in this format now. I need to go ahead and just change it around. So I'm going to take my y and write it like this. So I get y plus 2 equal to, again, just writing it in this form. And then I get log. My base is 3. And then I'm taking this whole part and bringing it over. So x plus 2. Okay. So we're almost done with this problem. My last step, I need to minus 2, so I just get the y isolated. So I get y equals log base 3 and then x plus 2 in parentheses and then minus 2. Okay, and this is it right here. This is our final answer. So again, that's going from exponential form to log. That's going to be the inverse. Okay, let's try one more example. Okay, so here's our last example. Again, first step, isolate the exponential. So I'm going to add 5 on both sides. So I get y plus 5 equal to 2, and then 2x plus 1. Okay. From here, we want to go ahead and make the switch. I want to replace the y with x and the x with y. So doing that, I get x plus 5 equal to 2. This gives me 2y plus 1. And at this point, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put this in parentheses so it's a little easier to see. So now, again, this whole part right here is like my x. This whole part right here is like my y, just looking at this right here. And now we're just going to rearrange it. So I'm going to take my y and bring it down. So I get 2y plus 1 equal to log. Now my base is 2. And we're going to bring this whole thing over to the right side, leave it in parentheses, I get x plus 5. And there we are. So we got a couple more steps here. We want a minus 1 on both sides, so now I get 2y equal to log base 2 and then x plus 5 minus 1. Our last step, divide by 2, right? So we want to divide this whole thing by 2. We can go ahead and just write it like this. So we're going to get the following. We get y equals log base 2, and then we get x plus 5, all divided by 2. And we can go ahead and just write it like this, minus a half. Okay? And there it is. That's going to be the inverse of our exponential there. Again, it is going to be a logarithm. All right? So that's how you go from exponential to logarithm, and that's how you find the inverse of an exponential. All right? And that is it.